Live, 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 live. And we're live, guys. Happy Monday morning, wherever you may be watching, listening. Well, if you're listening to this in the future, which is really cool because you
hmm
just time traveled, right? We're recording this live August 7th, 8:18 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10:18 a.m. Central Standard Time, where Dr. Fox, the man of many nicknames
I'm
and many memes.
getting more as we speak.
Surprisingly, none of your nicknames have anything to do with memes. They're all like Fox
No,
plays on Fox.
little
That's for
meme
meme,
fox,
huh?
little meme
Baby Fox.
fox.
We got
Yeah,
meme Fox. Now we got crystal clear Fox.
yeah.
So
Thank goodness.
this is really a continuation of the last SOS live stream. And if you're watching this, it's also being rebroadcasted live right now on SOS Save Our Sites LinkedIn. So I'm going to put the banner underneath. But this is basically, I had this in my back pocket for a while. And I was going to go solo. But I thought, you know what? It's basically a part two of our live stream on Friday that we
hmm
did with SOS. So why not just do it again? At least have Dr. Fox on. It was like last minute, just scrambling, and Dr. Fox actually had a podcast cancellation. I had one too. So we're in the same boat. We're ready to go, man.
hmm
But it's site solutions, and there's four key things that I want to discuss. Right. So believe it or not, unless Fox brings it up, we're not going to talk about money in this one.
Nope, nope.
I mean, money's the theme. Money's like
I'm gonna
the
try.
foundation of it all, but
It could
this
be a root
relates to
cause,
money.
but
Yeah, we'll try. We'll try. But so this I really want to focus on for career seekers too. There's a lot of job seekers out there, especially international medical graduates. Dr. Fox, you have no idea, man. People reach out like IMGs. These are doctors from Mexico, Colombia, the UK, all over the world, man. They want to move to either the US or Canada,
hmm
and they want to do research.
yep. I'm
And
getting them. I'm getting
you're
them a
getting
lot
them
on
too, right?
LinkedIn. Yep. It's and a lot of times it's someone will add you as to their network, and then the very first thing they say is, "Give me a job. I'm
And
this
see,
person. I'm looking for a job."
look at the comments. Okay, I'm an
hmm
RN BSN. I want to learn this trade. I have an
Good.
MPH and I want to learn. This episode's for you. I know it says site solutions, but if you think about it, okay, if the site, let's be logical for a second. If the site is the gateway to this industry for most careers, which I think it is, I think you should go to the site level. Like Maria Wallace Arthur, small site near you. Yeah, Mesrac, Tefera, similar last name to mine. I have MHAs and want to learn. Small site in your area. For you, you have to learn. Look, all right, I can't read Arabic, but like this, I want to learn this. So
hmm
everywhere, Fox. I'm glad these comments coming through right now.
I know. So my question is to each of those who just said that, what do you want to learn? What's top of mind for you? And we'll keep talking, but type this out because that's what we'll talk about. We're here because we really want to help. What do you want to learn? Maybe you don't know what
So
you need to learn. So we'll just start talking.
that's what it is. They don't know, but the curiosity is enough. So we're here to
Mhm.
tell you guys. Maybe Fox has different advice. I don't know. The small site is the way to go. It's your gateway point. All right. If you want to be medical monitor, if you want to be CRA, if you want to be project manager, if you want to be study director, if you want to be medical writer, I don't care what you're trying to do. I think the small site offers you the most versatility in your career outcomes. And so now we're going to talk about the four things site need. Because if you approach site with these things in your back pocket, or you figure out one of these that's like your niche, all right, that's why that the sites are gonna say yes to you when you go approach them.
Mhm.
But if you go and just say, "Hey, I want to learn research. Like, can I work here?" Chances are, like to me as a site owner, to Dr. Fox as a site owner, that sounds like a work for us. That doesn't sound like, oh, awesome. Like we probably think you're amazing, but before we get to that amazing, it sounds like an amazing amount of work for us. So that's my thoughts on this. Fox, what do you think, man? The comments are coming through.
I agree completely, and I'm seeing a lot of these to learn how to run a site. Before you learn to run, you got to learn to walk. So we can start talking about that if you're, first starting. But it's the same thing. If someone comes up to me and says, "Hey, I want to learn research. How do I do it?" There's a lot of that. I mean, you have to have that right small site who is willing to bring you on because I mean they're going to have to invest money, training, dollars into you, and odds are you're coming in and then you're going to end up going out. You're not going to stay at the site.
All right, check this out. This is what I get this a lot too.
Interesting.
I have not found small sites in my area, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Let me live Google. Fox, feel free to say something. I'm gonna
Do
look
it.
it up right
So
now.
Dan's going to look
Okay.
it up. And the one thing I could say is if that's the case, maybe it's up to you to change it because you've just identified a significant unmet need in your community. But my guess is there's going to be something. Odds are you've got to find some. Actually, Lancaster, PA, I know sites in Lancaster, and they're not
Okay, so
hospitals.
we don't need to Google. So the issue is that we just Google and we look at the first page, all right? And
Hmm.
the small sites cannot afford SEO, or they
Hmm.
don't organically get the SEO to land them on the first page. So what you get are, you're right, I'm seeing big institutions. But if we keep going down the rabbit hole, because the rabbit hole goes deep, okay?
Hmm.
Like Google search result won't end. And by the way, Google stopped doing page results. It's just infinite scroll now, which is kind of
Hmm.
cool. They used to have like page 2, page 3. Look, clinical research coordinator, Malvern, Pennsylvania. This is posted on so that I'm assuming it's close by. Okay. Uh the Judge Group. This is a recruiter company. Quest Diagnostics, career. Let's see here. If I go down here, I'm gonna find, and I don't even know where Lancaster, Pennsylvania is. Do you?
I'm not good at my geography there. I just know that there's one of the addresses for my site networks there.
Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Lancaster Ketamine Institute.
Hmm.
This one looks small. They look like they do psychedelic type studies. It's this is outside of Philadelphia. So there are
Hmm.
plenty of small sites around that area,
Yeah,
right?
especially
Yes,
that
there are
pharma
big
corridor,
ones.
man. I mean, you're talking pharma corridor.
And
So.
let me go one more thing, okay, because this is like practical advice for people. So Google, maybe Google's not that clean, okay? I'm going to LinkedIn. I'm doing Lancaster, Pennsylvania clinical research. And I'm going to just put in the search results and see what I get. And I'm going to try to find companies, okay? Companies, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, clinical research. Let's go all just to like. So I see people from there. I see Amy
Hmm.
Longenecker. We're not connected. I see another guy. We're not connected. I see jobs posted. The same job I found on Google, the Judge Group.
Hmm.
I'm seeing a new join our growing team, a practice link. Okay, I'm seeing posts from people in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I'm seeing job opportunities being posted by individuals. I'm seeing, let's keep going down. Okay, let's go, let's click jobs. Hershey, Pennsylvania. There's a
Hmm.
site.
So I
There's,
mean, the one in the person in Lancaster, man, it literally took a Google search and a little bit of investigation, but there's opportunities. They're there. You just got to
yeah,
look and you got to know where to look and what different places to look. Just expand your searches. It's
yeah, and I
possible.
see a lot of Penn State too, so I see what they're
Yeah,
saying, but there are
just the
plenty of
hospitals.
non.
Yeah.
Here's one health. What is this company? Hershey.
Oh man,
Sounds yummy.
Are you looking at these comments, Dan? There's all
No,
kinds
no,
of
I'm
questions
looking
on
for
here.
jobs. I'm trying to help this person find a job. Let me
To
point
tell you,
it. If
if
there's
you're in
there, they're there.
Lancaster, if you're a site in Lancaster right now, uh, reach out. There's someone looking for jobs. Maybe try to do some more LinkedIn posts. Go out there. If you're looking for help, there's people out there looking for work.
Okay, here's the LinkedIn user. I've worked in the hospital, but definitely prefer small sites, which is how I got into research. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Carla Vera Nava says basics, one of the site solutions, get new staff and train them. We're gonna talk about that.
Yep.
I'm almost completing my PGD in clinical trial management. What is the best level to start my career? Small research clinic near you. I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you guys, this is the answer. This is my thesis. And Fox, maybe they're sick of hearing from me, man. What's your thesis for getting started?
It's so, especially the person saying you're completing your postgraduate degree in clinical trial management. I don't know anything about your resume or whatever that might be, but my recommendation would be just sacrifice 3 months to volunteer at a site, and you'll be set. You'll be launched, but you've got to get that initial sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to. I mean, you don't have experience on your belt. So there's one thing to have the degree. I've got that too. It took a long time to get experience and education to line up to be perfect for you. So my recommendation is go out there and say, I just need to start. Someone just give me a chance.
Yeah, and if Malvern's over an hour, look, I mean, I spent like 3 minutes looking. Like, you just go down this rabbit hole. Why not connect with people on LinkedIn? Like, there's a bunch of comments there. If you're like close to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and you know a small site around there, put it in the comments. All right, let's get LinkedIn user hired like right away.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think you're giving up too soon. Like, find like you need to search. You need to actually go on the deep dive and search, not on the first couple of results. You need to like
Mm-hmm.
do some investigating on this stuff.
Persistence. So that's one thing every site needs, right there is persistence. And that's site a job seeker. If you want to be a site owner, you better be persistent.
All right, here's the story we want to see. All right, I
Mm-hmm.
called a bunch of small sites. This is Carlos is saying this. Shout out to Carlos, by the way. I called a bunch of small sites in my city. None were hiring at the moment. And for others, I left a voicemail with my info. 2 months later, I got a call back, and now I'm a regulatory specialist for an awesome site
There
handling
you
50
go,
plus trials. And by the way,
Carlos. There you go.
Carlos did it, but he could have, like, even done it even better. He could have gone
Mm-hmm.
in person. He could have approached them with, like, some of these strategies we're telling you. Four things, guys. Every site needs more studies. Every site needs more clinicians in the community. Every site needs uh, a
Staff,
digital presence. All right. And what did I say?
St-
Studies,
study
uh,
staff.
staff, studies, clinicians, patients, and a digital presence. That's like my thesis. And of course, staff. But see, you don't approach Carlos did and it works, and there's a lot of people that do this, but you don't approach and just say, hey, I want to work there because I feel like I'm good. I mean, that's probably good enough, maybe, but what's even more effective if you approach with one of these four things, right? Hey, I learned how to get studies on clinicaltrials.gov. I know how to set you guys up on Inato. Shout out
Mm-hmm.
to one of my sponsors, Inato. I know how to go out in the community and get clinicians interested. And I know how to put ads on Facebook and make posts on Instagram and manage your TikTok. Oh, you don't have a TikTok? I can make one for you and sort of get patients interested. And if I don't know how to do any of that, I'm willing to pass out flyers in your neighborhood. Go to
So I think,
laundromats, Walgreens, and
do you
post
think
flyers everywhere.
if you took a step back, well, let's just say, like you were saying, a lot of small sites they can't afford SEO. They may not know SEO. They may not have the talent in SEO,
You
right?
don't do SEO.
Yeah, they just don't do it. So that I almost wonder if that digital presence is you could back that out into saying there are certain specialized skill sets that sites need, and digital presence is one. I promise I'm not talking money, but financial knowledge of the industry is another. There's a lot of sites that just don't have it. Sometimes the tech, right? So you have to go get some of the tech from the tech vendors out there. There are sites they can't do that in house, so they're relying on that. So maybe it's a good connection to the skills and the skill sets in the industry that
That's
that
right.
they need. Not just like digital presence, but straight up. I mean, there are some very specialized skills that
Hmm.
small sites just can't afford to take in house.
Yeah, maybe you're good at like making websites. Like, hey, I noticed your website is a little bit without being insulting. You tell the site, hey, one of my expertise is like making websites. I'm willing to do it like as a volunteer. If you, I just want research experience, like internship, and if you guys like me after 3 months, hire me. If not,
Yep.
thank you for the opportunity. It's now on my resume that I've done research work, and even 3 months is enough to get you hired at another site. Just make a lateral move.
I always like, and I've job coached a number of people before in this industry and in other
Ah, I didn't know
industries.
that. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
and I love so when they come to me, I'm having a hard time. I can't do this. So we do a little health check of their resume, and we do all this. And when they go out there and they're looking for jobs, I said, okay, when you have a conversation with these people, you could say, hey, I noticed this is what you need. This is what I can offer you, and this is what we can do together. Those 3 steps, if you have that conversation, a lot of people will look at you and say, well, one, I appreciate your confidence. I mean, you don't have to sound stuck up about it, but thank you for thinking of me. Thank you for telling me what you can do, and thank you for offering solutions to the problems that I have. That sounds like James Fowl right there. He was saying the same exact thing.
Man, we love that guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably one of the things too. I'm glad you brought up James Fowl, one of the best recruiters we know.
Mm-hmm.
When you're brand new, a recruiter does you no good, right? They're basically like look at you like, hey, this is charity work, because they're hired to find experienced people. They're not hired to find people with potential, right? Everyone has potential. That's not why they're paying James and all these recruiters. So a lot of people say, "Hey, you know what? No recruiter wants to call me back." You're barking up the wrong tree, guys. I'm telling you, the small sites, you call up a site like Yuma Clinical Trials or you message us, "Hey, but and don't actually do it. I only want people that live here. I'm not going to take on the risk, the guilt of you moving here and this is still a startup, right? But like if someone actually lived here and they were a medical assistant, hey, I would love to intern there. I can do this, this, and that. I would strongly consider, hey, thank you. And you know what? I'd probably hire them in a month
Mm-hmm.
if they were good.
And I think that's going to get to the point where a lot of these people, they've lost their jobs. They're saying they have all this experience and they're not getting a job. They're associating the experience with with getting the job. I think it's that drive. You can have 10 years of experience, but if you don't have the drive to look for the job, you're not going to get it.
Hmm. The drive to, there's something there. Could it be possible to have too much drive, though?
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
think so
because
too.
if you drive too fast, you're going to be missing opportunities, or you're going to be overlooking some opportunities.
I actually think you could also potentially scare
Hmm.
employers because
Yeah.
you're not talking every site owner. Sometimes you're talking to managers that are
Hmm.
hired by the site owners, and there is a lot of politics going on where maybe they get threatened. Hey, maybe this person like too good, So you got to know, you got to read the room. Read the room, guys. My wife tells me all the time, like, learn how to read the room, right? Because I just go with the same strategy everywhere I go. Hey, no, no, tone it down. You got to read the room. Not
Hmm.
everybody wants to be on a video. Not everybody's like as talkative as you. Not everybody's as ambitious. Read the room. All right. It's the same thing when you're going to sites. Like try to figure it out. But look, those four things I mentioned. All right. We're gonna come back to it. But these comments are rolling in, Fox. People are hungry on a Monday
Hmm.
morning.
I'm
All right.
loving them. You just pick one. We can talk about it.
Well, here's one that's like we don't have an answer for because we have no way of knowing. But
Hmm.
this is a theme. Okay. So Idara says, what's the difference between a CRA and a clinical studies operations specialist? Idara, these role CRA is universal, right? CRA and CRC and PI, those are universal roles. And medical monitor, there's a few universal roles. But stuff like this, CSOS,
Hmm.
I
It
never heard of
sounds like
these.
an academic thing, maybe something that a university made up.
The point is, does not matter. You got to look at the job responsibilities underneath it.
Hmm.
A lot of them is going to be a lot of overlap, guys. And guess what? There's overlap between CRA and CRC too, right? So this is why we're saying start at the site because all those transferable skills, you can be the best CRAs are former CRCs. You hear everybody saying
Hmm.
this, right? So who cares? what a clinical studies operations specialist is. If you were a CRC, I guarantee you can be a CSOS at any stakeholder type company in this industry. Guarantee.
And do you want to know who the best site owners are?
Me.
Former CRAs. Yep.
Former CRA. Yeah, yeah. I
The
dabbled
great,
a bit. Yeah.
yeah, the great chain of the great circle of clinical research right there. Grow at a site, go out there, become a CRA, then come back to the site and run it.
I think, yes, especially if that CRA was former CRC. Then I agree.
Oh yeah.
Timothy, shout out Timothy, so active on the comments. Thank you so much for that, Timothy. Start at CRC, no matter what degree. Exactly. No degree. Look, we know receptionists with GEDs. We know
Yep.
receptionists without GEDs. Started at the site, some by luck, some they worked their way there. They worked their way to be a coordinator. Then they work their way to a whole bunch of other stuff, guys. Coordinator is like Grand Central Station for your career. You know, and you go there in Manhattan, you go, well, I want to go here, I want to go there. Well, you could go anywhere you want. Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
The part, the hard part is getting yourself there. That's it.
Yep.
Man, I get pumped up about this topic, Fox.
I know. Well, so you've got staffing. How would you? So you've got the staffing as a small site. How do you set a really good training system? What do you do to
That's why we
train?
made CRC Academy.
Yep.
But but before that, it's literally I would either have one of my CRCs that's more experienced. It's their responsibility to train this person, and I would tell them they're
Mm-hmm.
not here to replace you. This your role, and if they're not good at that, then it's my job, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
find someone else to do it. So it's literally, let's say it's me, right? Because this is what I'm doing now. You sit next to me before the patient gets here. You sit next to me while the patient's here. You sit next to me when I go get the drug. You sit next to me when I fill out all the logs.
Mm-hmm.
You sit next to me when the patient's gone and I do all the EDC, right? And by next week, you should be doing some of this. And by the
Yep.
week after, you should be doing a little more. And by the week after, a little more. It takes about 3 months from my
Yep.
experiences like this.
Teach, watch, do.
hmm hmm
So teach,
It's
watch,
not,
do.
look, it's not rocket science, guys.
Mm-mm.
They made these protocols. You can debate this, but they made these protocols to be followed. There's no creativity, right? Yes, you got to call audibles because this is the real world and this is not pristine environment like the protocol was written. But for the most part, like you basically follow what you're supposed to do in the study. It's not that hard,
Mm.
right?
So what about staff, not physicians, community outreach? How do you handle that conversation with physicians to try to get them on board to do research?
This is where, and I've had and currently have employees who want to start their own sites or who have gone on to start their own sites. And the common theme is I think I know how to run a site, but I don't know how to talk to the clinicians like you do yet. And it's not that I do anything special, guys. And I think unfortunately there's a lot of, let's just be real, like sexism. So maybe I'm a
Yeah.
male.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be honest, like I think a lot of the doctors, especially males, respect the males more than females, which is unfortunate. But this is like a common theme
Right.
I've seen. But if you're a female, you do have like more headwinds working against you, right? So it's not fair, and life is not fair either. But we're talking about how you're going to succeed, not about how we make things fair, because that's we're not going to be
Mhm.
able to, guys. These people
We
have to
can't.
die, and then new people have to be born, all right? But
And
by
those
then
new
you'll be
people have
dead.
to have new ideas. Yeah. And I see that even in the physician world and PIs, there's a lot of that
Yeah.
going on.
But the
And
bottom, to answer
yeah.
your question, not to do a cop out and switch the topic, it's not complicated. If people want to, they think, oh, well, it's the slide that I make. I'm going to make a
Nope.
flyer and then it's going to be magic. And then the future PI is going to love it. It's confidence. It's going in there, having the audacity to go into their busy practice and tell their receptionist, look, I know they're busy, but I'm not leaving till he comes out because I'm not selling you anything. This is opportunity for his patients and the community.
Mm-hmm.
And then waiting till they come out. I'm here all day, is what I tell them. I
Mm-hmm.
won't leave. I'm here
Yep.
all day. I know this is a good opportunity for them. Now, sometimes I use the bring cookies, or I have to go a few times till they get to know me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When you get that 5 minutes, they always usually say, "I got 5 minutes."
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yep.
You gotta show confidence. You gotta show how it's gonna immediately benefit them. So how they're not gonna waste their time, and like be practical, be realistic. So hey, what kind of patients do you see? Okay, I can try to get studies for this. A lot of the studies are unrealistic as far as IE criteria, so we need more patients than we think. But it's good you have a big database. I'll do all the work. I'm gonna give you whatever's fair. We usually do like 25% gross, but you can figure that out yourself. And I've been doing this X amount of years. This is like how long it's gonna take, I think, to get you a study. And we don't need to use your space. If you have more space, I can use. It's all like improvising, and it's all showing them that you're not there to waste their time and that you know what you're doing. The minute you show wavering in your confidence, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to deal
Yep.
with that.
Yep. And it's exactly what you said, knowing the room, know the
Read the room.
PI,
Yeah.
know what drives them. There's going to be, I mean, and it's going to be okay. There's going to be PI, or there's going to be physicians who are highly interested in what's in it for me. What do I get paid? And then there's other physicians saying, well, this is a really good opportunity for my patients. And I
hmm
really want to get this for them. And there's some that say, I want published. So if you have some publishing opportunities, then I want it. I want the prestige. You have to know your room. You have to know what drives that physician. And they're all going to be different. They're all
Read
going to be
the
different,
room.
but yeah, read the room. You do see bins after a while. You see the categorizations of motivation. You just have to start to learn like what they're going for.
And motivations change if you stay with them long enough. And here's a big rookie mistake I see everyone making. They get the PI to say yes. Okay, yes, now what? Well,
Mm-hmm.
now I need your CV and now I need you to do GCP. So you're already giving them work.
Yep.
So you say, okay, I need a copy of your CV and medical license. You're eventually going to have to do this good clinical practice training, but I'll come here and help you with it,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want to do. But I'm going to try to make this like as easy as possible for you. If you don't maintain after they say yes, because it takes 3 to 6 months to get a study.
Yep.
What if that you just leave them alone? Oh, yes, here you go. Here's my CV license. And you go radio silent for 6 months until you get a new study.
They'll forget about you.
They were like, who are you? Oh, I remember. I thought you didn't do anything and you left.
Mm-hmm. And that
No,
was your one chance,
that was your one
and
chance. Now
it was
they're like,
gone.
hey, you know what? I got busy. So here's what I did here in Yuma. Every week, I made a meeting with my PI, even if it's just 2 minutes. Hey, can we meet this Friday at noon? I found out Fridays at noon is like he has time. And this Friday at noon, I'm gonna come talk to you about just. It was like I was not even had a need to talk. I just went so he sees that I'm active. And he doesn't forget about me. And sometimes I did have something to talk about. Hey, I saw this study. What do you think we can do this? And then, oh, by the way, I noticed you don't have a -20 fridge. Do you think I can get one? So just little things like that. They see that you're still there. Because I know a lot of people, like, they're happy to get that yes, and then that's it. That's the
Mm-hmm.
big mistake, guys.
Yep. Or it's, hey, would you like to be a part of clinical research? Sure, sign me up. Give me a trial. Let's have it. Okay, I need you before I can get a trial. So it's this chicken or the egg thing, and so
hmm
it takes a really like a lot, like you said, Dan, a lot of communication, direct communication. Let them know that you haven't fallen off and that you're still actively working to work with them.
We're gonna get to all these comments, guys, gals. I want to see your comments in the chat. I want to see the comments explode. I actually want StreamYard to crash, right? So just put comments in there. That'll be the best way to end this stream is like just crashed. But look at this last comment. I'm a IMG, all right? What did we open this topic
Mm-hmm.
with? Who has recently moved to the US. However, I'm feeling a bit lost and unsure about where to start. Do you have any advice or guidance on how I can begin my journey? We literally have been talking about this for the last 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Start. at a small site near you. If you can't find them, that's false. They are there, unless you're in a very small town. Then you got to expand your horizon a bit,
Mm-hmm.
right? But they're there. Most of the time, IMG don't move to a small town; they move to a big town
Mm-hmm.
because there's
And
job
you
opportunity.
know the opportunities are there.
That's right. So you approach again, learn how to get them studies, learn how to manage their internet presence. Let's just call it that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Learn how to do clinician outreach, learn how to get community engagement in the community offline,
Mm-hmm.
in person. Those four things. If you're an IMG, you've got a fifth element, all right? You're a freaking, you could be the PI's right hand. I've had so
Mm-hmm.
many IMG coordinators I've hired. PIs loved these people. Loved. I've seen an IMG coordinator and my PI have serious debates about lab results. All right? No one else can do that but you. And sometimes the PI said, "Oh, you're right. You know what? You're right." That's value, right? That's incredible value. So let's go comments more. All right. Oh, this is Facebook. Good thing I clicked that button. I'm loving in Carbondale. What
That's
is
in
that?
Illinois, so you're probably in
Ah, Illinois.
SIU. Go to St. Louis area, Edwardsville area. You've got all kinds of opportunities around that area. That's a college town, man.
I
You know,
thought
that's one of
Carbondale was like a new DCT vendor.
no Carbondale. That's actually that's where I graduated with my PhD.
Mhm.
Uh, so it's a good spot. You've got a lot of good opportunity there.
Look at a GI, advanced
Oh,
endoscopy. Are
come
you
on,
kidding me?
man. I mean,
Abu
just look
Baker,
around, my
come on,
friend.
man.
Look around. Your Nash studies are all over the place. You've got this.
Here, I don't know who you are, Abu Baker. One thing you do have to be careful with in your people in your position is to be humble. All right, because
Mhm.
we've talked about reading the room and being too ambitious. I've seen a lot of IMGs go too hardcore to where they're not moldable, malleable,
Yeah.
malleable to being um, formed in the way the site owner wants. Right, like, hey, this person, it's a shame. This person's like such good potential, but he's not malleable. I remember having this conversation with a business partner years back. This
Mhm.
guy's great, but man, we can't, like, he doesn't get along with anyone. We can't, unless we make him a site director, which we're not ready for. We can't,
Mhm.
unfortunately, no. So like,
Or a big
he,
delegator, like only delegate. That's a big one too.
hmm
Don't do any of the work, just always delegate. You got to be real careful. Humble's a good word for that.
man, it's hard to make someone humble though. But hopefully, Abu Baker,
Yeah.
hopefully, like you're like, these comments are insane, guys. I have to go back now. All right, I'm from Ikevia, India. That's
Welcome,
fantastic.
IQVIA.
Thanks, Timothy. See, Timothy's got the advice. Oh, guys, the comments section sometimes is
Mhm.
your is your life vest, right? These comments now are robust enough, especially on LinkedIn, to where you've got help. You're not alone anymore. Look, people are talking to each other in the comments. We're going to get to it in a little bit. I have 13 years of experience as a CRC and I've had no luck. In fairness, I've been moving away from the CRC role. I've been a site manager and a CTM. You have luck? What do you mean? You've been in this industry over a decade. What do you mean, no luck? You have luck.
Mhm.
You make your own luck. With that kind of experience, you can work anywhere you want.
Mhm.
What do you think
Now
about this?
that situations like that get tricky because when you have that much in experience, you try to base your experience off of your salary expectations of the past, not necessarily the current market. And so that can get tricky depending on the jobs that you find. I'm not sure what your salary needs are, expectations, but um, when you go to look for a role, don't base it off of your past. You can justify a salary with your experience, but you don't base it off of the numbers you earned back then or the numbers you think you should earn now because of it. It's a totally different world.
Yes, a couple of things. Like, either the market is telling you no, which means there's something internal you got to fix, whether it's, like Fox said, salary requirements, or maybe it's something internally, like attitude wise. I don't know. I don't know Bill Peaches, right, at all. But if the market's telling you the same thing, you gotta make adjustments. Right? It's not
Mhm.
bad luck. I think bad luck only goes so far. I don't think it's 13 years of bad luck's possible.
I mean, lucky number 13, right?
I mean, some people have bad luck. I've gone through stretches of bad luck, but
Oh,
ultimately it
yeah.
evens out. Things average out for the most part. Like,
I was I find a lot of times when I experience what I call bad luck, it's a lot of internal problems, not external.
yeah.
It's how I see things. And, you start to realign that. Just a little secret, but every Friday now, I always write in a journal. I've been journaling for 2
Mm,
years, and it's because and I be sure I write it in cursive, the best handwriting possible, helps me to think, do it early in the morning, but once you start to establish a good process of self-reflection, it seems like the bad luck just goes away. I mean, I ever
mm.
since I started journaling, the luck has always gotten better, if you want to call it luck. Sometimes I think that's really just a perspective.
I would agree. I don't journal, but I do similar things where I read like small passages of books and then reflect on them. And
Mhm.
I mean, it's ultimately
There's
the same
Elena.
thing.
So anyone want to be a regulatory specialist for Elena?
Look at this, guys. These comments, I'm telling you.
This
All
is
right.
awesome.
But let's go through Yemes Rec. I want to start by giving
Yep.
volunteers, but the center not willing because of confidentiality. It's an
NDAs,
excuse. It's
100%.
an
Yep.
excuse. Okay? It's an excuse. Go somewhere else. Forget about that. They don't
Yep.
want you there. Like go somewhere else. There's no CDA. You come work you McClango trial, you just start, right?
There you
There's no
go.
CDA in place. You're put as a research assistant intern. So once you get on, well, I won't put you on every study, but I'll put you on like one study at a time. Or it depends what I have you do.
Mhm.
Maybe I just have you pass flyers in the community, or maybe I just have you like make things for us, like marketing material. Who knows? I need to know your skill set, right? So just forget this site. Move to another one. David LaHaye,
Hey,
man,
David.
what is up? That's a good point Dr. Fox makes. If you're willing to volunteer, you can offer to do EDC entry, patient recruitment, other decentralized activity. Ugh, I hate that word. At a site. You can build your CV and won't be limited to Lancaster. Yeah, let's get
Mhm.
off of Lancaster, guys.
Well, maybe that's the question is, are you willing to move or are you locked into an area? And that could also change how open you are to things.
But in a Philly suburb, man, Philly's got to
Mhm.
be top 10 populated metros in the US.
Mhm.
There are 60-mile radius, there's going to be sites around.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And even if
Definitely.
they say it's an hour, okay, so what? Go once a week, intern, twice a week, 3 months, get it on your resume. Maybe they hire you and you want to move there. Or who cares? Then you don't, and then you can work somewhere else.
Mhm.
You're gaining experience. Uh, how easy is it to find a job in North America if you have regulatory experience for Asia Pacific? You got to be here. The hard part's the green card issue. Like a
Mhm.
lot of,
Got to find a sponsor.
yeah, you got to find a sponsor. But if that's not an issue, then it's the same advice we give everyone else. Small site near you.
Do you think some small sites would ever be sponsors?
I have been a sponsor for people. Yep.
Okay.
But it's usually been, let's see, I've done it twice. And both of them were referrals from family members of a really good CRC I had, where she said, "Hey, my sister wants to work here. She's basically potential to be just like me. She just needs sponsorship. She already did all the work. You just gotta like sign things and help with the attorney fee. Okay, we'll do it." And then another one was her friend or a cousin. So like they were always internal. But look, what's that on the part of those people? That was networking.
Mhm. Yep. All about the
Everybody knows
networking.
somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. 6 degrees of separation. Right? Uh, they're not willing to have the volunteer sign a CDA. That's an excuse. Okay, a CDA. That's just translation. Like we're not interested, and we don't want to be mean and tell you that.
Bye, Timothy.
Timothy, thank you, man. You've been always like Timothy's amazing in the comments. Yeah, I am looking for a clinical project management job. I have 4 year experience. PMP, project management. What is that?
Project management professional, I
Oh,
think.
there you go.
Your PMP. If you have a PMP certificate, honestly, you may be better off going to sponsors.
Hmm.
I mean, because by the time you get PMP, you must have enough experience under your belt. Look for your CROs. Well, if you value money, if you value the pay, look for your CROs and your sponsors. They're going to be running. They're going to be picking up those PMPs.
And I'm guessing it's 4 year experience in research where you're golden. All right.
You'll be set.
Fox, let's just take a pause real quick. These comments are insane. I want more. Timothy, thank you. Like, keep the comments going because on a Monday morning, it's actually stronger than coffee, right? Look, the DCT bubble is bursting. Good people are losing jobs. Good
Yep.
people are getting laid off. I know Brad and well, it's really Brad that gets accused of like making fun of like people getting laid off, and he's that's not his intention at all. So let's focus on these people that are in the
Mhm.
middle right now of massive layoffs of DCT, and other people like Craig said. Well, Craig made a response. Well, it's actually more a reflection of like the industry as a whole, but he did not mention small sites. We don't have layoffs at my site. We're hiring people,
Yep.
right? But he
Every
said
side I know, they're just
Pfizer.
yeah. We call them. It's revenge research, is what it is.
Explain
So
that. Explain that before
revenge
we get
research.
into advice for these DCT people that are getting laid off.
Well, if you look at the cycle of pharma, right, you've got these really crazy 2 to 3 year cycles of planning trials, getting them on board. I mean, by the time a site gets awarded a trial, odds are pharma's been working on that for 6 to 9 months before, either through the CRO, whatever it might be, right?
Mm.
So when COVID hit and everything was on a close down, everything prioritized COVID vaccines, all of that technology backed up. It was still there. They still had plans to do the trials, but it's backed up because we had to prioritize COVID. We're still on the realm of revenge research. I don't know if you've seen like a lot of the RSV things, a lot of the Alzheimer's came
Mhm.
out, all these things that are just giant breakthroughs. It's like you notice that everything is being approved.
Postpartum depression got approved last
All this
week.
stuff, the birth control without a prescription,
Mhm.
you saw
Mhm.
that one? So
Mhm.
if you're seeing these huge bursts of FDA approvals right now, it's a result of the revenge research that happened post COVID. We're a couple years in. A lot of those trials, that giant burst of trials that should have happened in 2020, are just now starting to come through. And we're still on the cusp of revenge research. So anyway,
So,
that's
so
that's
basically, the
what we're
the
seeing.
industry needs practical stuff solutions because
Yes.
Pfizer's having layoffs. A lot of big pharma are having major layoffs. Like they overextended themselves during COVID to accommodate for this revenge research, and now it's normalizing at the big pharma levels
Mhm.
and at these DCTs. I mean, that's a different story, but that's a business model that has yet to be proven successful. So of course they over leveraged, and now sponsors are looking for practical things. Hey, I want a site in Illinois that could get me 10 patients. I want a site in Yuma that could get me 8 patients. I don't
Mhm.
care about this bus rolling around the country that can enroll 500. I don't need that right now.
Yep.
And so that's
Yep.
DCT bubble bursting.
Well, so DCT, keep in mind, DCT companies valuated during COVID when everything was hyperinflated at like century high levels. That's when the valuations were. And now that we're starting to normalize, all of those valuations are becoming false. And so as a result, it is to be expected. The market is correcting itself as it should, because we weren't looking at what was happening before COVID or like the things that should be happening. So I'm not surprised to see this happen. That's another podcast. We can talk about that
But
another
like,
time. But
okay, advice. Let's say you worked. I don't even know these companies. The one Brad posted. What was it? The I don't know. Like
Cure
this
base.
Curebase. All right,
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
most recent one. So let's
Yeah.
say you worked at Curebase, and from everything I've read, the employees are amazing at these places.
Oh, yeah.
So what
I
do you do
mean,
now? You're laid off. You've been put in a niche. Like, hey, we're like a. See, the problem with these kind of unique companies, like unicorn companies, is the transferable skills they're not that versatile like if you would have been laid off at a small research site where you basically can do it all.
Mhm.
You were put into this role like,
Very
hey, just do
specialized.
this. Yeah, and oftentimes
Yeah.
it's just like it's ad hoc. It's a role just for that company and it has no other value to anyone else. So what do you do there?
You want my advice?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, there's a reason why I wrote a book. Read
Oh
it.
man. Okay,
So
hold on. I got it.
I did. Someone said they bought a box of that books, and every time they're gonna let someone go, they're gonna give them that book. And that's exactly what the dream was.
It's a
So
souvenir.
yeah.
Look, okay, transferable skills still exist though. All
Oh
right.
yeah.
If you did
Yeah.
anything regulatory wise, if you did anything patient recruitment wise, now you may not get paid as much as you did there because let's put ourselves in the shoes now for a second, okay, of a site owner. I never raised money in my life from anyone. Well, that's
Mhm.
false. I did it from one business partner, actually two, but like I never took money from VCs. VCs basically give you money and say, hey, you scale this thing
We
and
get
give
a
me my
cut.
returns in
Yep.
5 years.
Yep.
So you go crazy hiring people and you start attracting them from other places with higher salary. Small
Mhm.
sites don't work like that. Small
Nope.
sites are like, hey, what can you do for me like tomorrow if I bring you in right now?
Yep.
And by the way, we're gonna start you off slow, like little payments.
Yeah.
So
Little
you might
exit
have to take a
strategy. Yeah.
step back to take your leap forward if you've been at one of these places. And it's
So
kind
this
of
is a
like what
really
you were
good.
saying earlier. Like, don't let that mental
No, you
salary,
can't.
like,
Again, that's I've got another book coming called Metal and Paper. That's another topic too,
how
but
close are you to finishing that?
I'm still drafting it.
All right.
I'm putting that on. I do my
Metal and
rotation.
paper.
Yeah, metal and paper. So we'll do a pod about that sometime if you want. It's a
I
really
got a
cool
book I'm working
conversation.
on too, but I think it's gonna SOS has put it a year a year back.
Yeah, pretty much. I
Yeah.
do like. So, do you want to discuss the challenges in patient recruitment and retention to try to hit those 4 bits? We
Yes.
talked.
Yes.
So,
So
what have we
because a
covered so
lot of
far of
these
your four? Of your four that we were going to do, we did staffing pretty well. We did opportunities,
getting
sponsors,
studies
studies, patient retention, and then
in
specialization.
NATO, if the site's
Yep.
experienced, you can have them look at the sponsors that sponsor this show. Right. This is a shameless plug. Creo is the only one you have to pay for. So that's like a kind of like not a good thing to recommend to a brand new site you want to volunteer for because they have to pay. So I love Creo. I think sites should use it, but okay, let's take that one out. Versatrail, free. Viva Site Vault, free. Inato, free. All right. These things are free.
Hmm.
These things, the majority of sites, they don't even know about. These things you can educate the site about. You can run point guard on these three things, right? Hey, I know how to make I learned from this guy on YouTube, blame me, right? I learned from this guy on YouTube how to like organize all our portals better, how to do our feasibilities better. That's versatile. I learned from this guy on YouTube you can actually get studies that are appropriate for you. I'll handle all of it in Nato. I learned from this guy on YouTube free EDOA, free e-signatures, free ISFs. Boom. I'll handle all of it. That's something you can do for sites operations wise,
Hmm.
right? And then Inato falls into that with BizDev. But another thing for BizDev to get studies, clinicaltrials.gov, then cross-referencing on LinkedIn, try to find the right person to contact. You found the lead, boom, here's site owner or manager. Here's like 10 leads I found for you this week. Feel free to email them all. If you want me to, I'll do it.
I've got some interesting news, and I'm not going to say everything about it, but I will say this. So, one, don't forget CRPN is free for sites to join, but you're
Forgot.
going to love this. I am currently in discussions with an organization to collaborate advertising marketing dollars to make sure that the sites that work throughout the CRPN network can get marketing dollars in their budgets, built baked into their budgets. So
For
we're
social
talking
media, for
about
anything.
patient recruitment and retention. Imagine heading it up during the negotiation period. Imagine having a direct relationship with marketing, not like the contract signed. Okay, here's my invoice for marketing. No, 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 no. Before the contract is signed, knowing exactly how much you're going to get in advertising and
Mm.
not letting it being limited to a negotiator, but rather than to the actual fair market value of that marketing. So
Wow.
I'm on my way. It's coming, and I think that relationship is coming very quickly. You'll see it. I don't know, next couple months.
Okay, so be a connector. You
Yeah,
know, look, hey, I
absolutely.
learned from YouTube this guy named Dr. Fox. He's crazy enough to have sites join his network for free. Like, let's do it.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'll run point guard on that.
Hmm.
There's a lot of value you can bring to sites. Thank you for that regarding the patient recruitment. Let's see some of these comments. Man, there's a lot. Oh my goodness. Senior biostats, you guys are thirsty on a Monday. Senior biostats, here's
Wow.
that email, guys. Go connect. Senior
Hmm.
biostatistician at R3 Stem Cell from Pakistan. If you're a job recruiter, hit him up. If you're a CRO, hit him up. If you're a site, if you're someone that just wants to learn, hit him up. If you're just someone that wants to meet someone new in the space, hit
And
him up.
so if you're a job seeker right now, watch this and look at the competition you're going against. There's some really talented people here who are looking for jobs. So, I mean, you don't see all the applications that these employers look at, but if you're getting rejected, it's probably because you've got like a senior biostatistician applying for it. So they have to pick the most qualified candidate.
You better arm yourselves with as much core competency, as much unique value prop that you can give a site and show them, like, hey, I know you're going up against Khalil, but like, here's what I can do.
Hmm.
It's competitive too.
Yeah, it is. And there's a lot of people looking for work right now.
Elena said, "Good morning. We're looking for a regulatory specialist." All right,
Job,
look at.
Elena.
Hold on. I just saw this. There was a comment that wants to do
Looking
regulatory.
for a regulatory specialist. Yeah.
Looking for regular. Here, Khalil. Maybe is the last one. Abu Baker. All right. Here you go, Elena. Like, I mean, get on LinkedIn or you guys get on
There's
Miami.
in Miami.
Looking for CRC and regulatory. Guys,
I
we
will.
could
So,
almost leave on this note. Like, go
yeah.
get hired.
And I've talked to a lot of people that per capita, Miami is probably one of the most site saturated cities in the
Mm-hmm.
country
Mm-hmm.
for a number of reasons. We won't go into them, but importantly, if you're an IMG and you're looking into research, why don't you target Miami? Because there's opportunity there, and obviously they're looking for coordinators.
So, Abby says, I'm willing to relocate if anyone's hiring.
Go to Miami, Abby.
Elena says, site in Miami, looking for CRC and regulatory specialist. Abby says, I'm willing to relocate if anyone's hiring. Elena says, site in Miami, looking.
Hint, hint.
Should I do this again? Let's go. Let's go, guys. Okay. Uh, Patient recruitment and retention.
Mhm.
Retention's tough. Oh, here's a job. Okay, go buy sandwiches for patients that are in the study. Like, our newest
Seriously.
hire, she's a
Yep.
research assistant. We're gonna start making our dry ice because of you. So thank you. You and my
You're
wife
welcome.
both told me the same thing around the
Yeah.
same time.
Make
I
your own
ignored
dry
you
ice.
both. Yeah, I
Yep.
ignored you both, and I learned the hard way. But we have the new staff besides data entry. The new girl, she goes and gets sandwiches anytime we have a patient there with a blood draw, and she gets dry ice, and she
Hmm.
runs to FedEx and UPS to drop off packages. I mean, it's a runner. So patient retention, there's a lot of, like, sites are short staffed. So you can just say, hey, I'm gonna like willing to go buy sandwiches for your team, buy dry ice. And then recruitment, whole other challenge, but it's part of that digital marketing. Like, what about how many sites have an Instagram? How many sites have a Facebook? How many sites have a YouTube channel? How many sites have a podcast? I would say the
Hmm.
majority don't have all of those, if any. Why not you make it? Say, hey, I'll do it for you. Like, it's just going to be branding. I don't need IRB
Hmm.
approval. We're just going to talk about the community. We're going to talk about we're going to like showcase our staff members. This week, we're showcasing our PI. Next week, our sub I. Next week, our coordinator. There's a long, endless stream of content ideas that you do not need any IRB approval. People get lazy and use IRB approval as a crutch for not doing
Hmm.
anything. It's an incorrect attitude to have. Uh,
And
oh,
if you're out there and you're listening, it is absolutely critical to build your brand right now. The successful sites are known in their community, not as some kind of a weird red curtain that you hide behind, but you are front and center in your communities. People know, oh yeah, that's the research guy. That's the research company that takes care of our community. You've got to have a presence out there. And if you don't, either get the help, either from the experts or you people you can farm it out, or build your own. Build your own volunteers.
Large and in charge says, why do international medical graduates grow up the ladder faster compared to others? There's a lot of, I mean, it's a doctor. Like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe we should just pause for emphasis there. They are your PI. They
Yeah,
just happen to be in another country.
yeah, I agree. That's where you find that balance between experience and degree. Once you have that balance, they will grow up faster because the ladder is actually longer. They have a longer ladder that they can climb.
What medical monitor they could be.
Mm-hmm.
They could be medical writers. Look, one of the things sponsors complain about is, hey, we hire these CROs. These CROs hire CRAs with no medical knowledge whatsoever. And that's just, it is what it is, right? It's not good or bad. It is what it is. But imagine you show a sponsor, if you're a CRO, hey, one of our CRAs is a he's a doctor. She's a doctor. That's plenty of medical knowledge right there to be your CRA. So it's one less thing that your sponsor can complain about. So there is a value add. There's two sides to this research. There's the whole thing, science stuff, right? Like let's not forget, this is clinical research, right? There's like mechanism of actions, there's con meds, there's side effects, there's AEs of special interest. Like there's serious medical clinical stuff. And then there's all the research stuff, GCP, Alcoa, all that stuff. All right, you need both of those. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can overcompensate as a CRO. You hire like more people with the GCP, Alcoa regulatory knowledge, but you do need to like have the balance of the medical clinical. That's why RN BSNs do so well too, and that's why IMGs do well.
Do me a favor, Dan.
Yeah,
Velena's message at the
Valena.
bottom. Yeah, Velena Trask.
Ah, let's see. Hi,
So,
Dr. Fox. I'm
got a
looking to
story.
transition to a project manager role after 12 plus years in study startup and CRO.
I have to say something here. I've known Velena. I've met Velena. I've worked with her
Ah,
very closely in a lot of different situations that were not good. And every single time that we had a situation, she fixed it for everyone. I mean, she's a full blown site advocate, sponsor advocate. My recommendation is if any sponsor is watching this right now, um, reach out to her and you will have a golden employee. She is a really, really good professional.
okay.
So,
Thank you for that. And nice to meet you, Velena. Thank you
yeah.
for subscribing on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There you go. The comments is golden, guys. These recruiters, James Fowl, where are you at? I know you're in
Yeah.
UK, you're sleeping. You need to be awake, drink more black tea, and get these people,
Yeah.
right?
James, if you could talk to Belena, you'll do quite well.
They drink tea out there. So wake up,
Mm-hmm.
drink your Earl Grey earlier.
Earl Grey.
Come give Elena. She wants to work. Look,
Mm-hmm.
this is a gold mine right here. The comment section for the recruiters. Any recruiter awake? You got Elena. No, I don't know her email. I don't know her email. Find her on YouTube
We can get
somehow.
you
Find her on
connected.
LinkedIn.
Velena, if you're ever interested in coming on a podcast, I think that would be a really good conversation.
That would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go through some of these. How can research clinical site? Huh?
How
How
can
can reach
reach
clinical?
clinical sites from outside US? Internet? I mean, I
How are you
honestly,
reaching us now? You
yeah,
know,
honestly, I get those all the time on LinkedIn messages all the time. A lot of people from outside of the U.S. reaching out. Hi, I'm this person. I'm looking for a job. Will you help me? That's pretty much the standard. So it's just do
so
your
don't be
social
the
media.
standard. Don't be the standard.
Yep.
I guess the key word here is reach, right? Which
Mm-hmm.
is the one I had issues with. I thought it was research. Reach. What do you mean by this? Is it to spam? Because that's not good. Not a good
Mm-hmm.
strategy. Or are you going to approach them with some kind of value add? Because that's different. Then you go on LinkedIn and you find people like Tim, like Abby,
Mm-hmm.
even if they have nothing to offer you. Marianne, I didn't even read her comment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna get to you right now. All right, Vilgena. I mean, like reach. That's reaching. You can reach, so you can reach people. All right, but it's how
Mhm.
you define reach. Because pitching for a job is not a good way to go about it. It's true networking, true relationship building, true value bringing to sites, small sites in your area. Okay, where we at? Where we
That was
at?
interesting because I go back to what
Marianne.
Marianne,
Here we
Marianne,
go. Marianne, you
Marianne.
were next
Sorry,
in the
Marianne.
queue. Okay. I'm a
So,
foreign medical graduate. How many of foreign medical graduate did we already have on this? Not even an hour long live stream,
yep.
right?
So many people interested. So many people.
I'm
The
telling you.
opportunity. I'm telling you, if you're trying to hire people, they're there. They're there. We just have to get them connected.
So
Now,
this
there's
is where I save our sites. Like they gotta come,
yeah.
Marianne. Come.
Let's talk. Get the sites. Talk to the sites. Do what you got to do. The one thing I could say about this is I don't think there's such thing as getting hired easily. It's not
Keyword.
easy. Not easy to get hired. You have to be very competitive. You have to do this properly. You just have to be persistent.
Marianne, look
Patience.
at
Yeah.
Carlos.
There you go.
I'm in Columbus. Connect on my LinkedIn. This is where magic happened on these live stream.
Mhm.
This is where it's not a love connection, but maybe.
Yeah.
Boom.
Professional. LinkedIn.
Professional. We all spread love. All right. Give, and then you'll eventually give to so many people that they're gonna want to give back. It's human
Mhm.
nature, reciprocity. Right.
Old saying, old farmer saying, if you give it all away, you can never give it all away.
Mm.
And that's what we're talking about here. I have never seen an industry when we the sites, especially the site level, and when we come together and we start talking, it's all about trying to help each other. It's so funny because everyone's like, "Oh, competitive enrollment." This no, we're here to help each other
Competitive enrollment is just a way for sponsors to get sites to enroll faster.
and lower budgets and lower budgets.
And lower
Yeah,
budgets
yeah, but
too.
we won't
We're
talk
not
about
against.
money. I promised.
Well,
No money.
in one
Yeah.
hour, it's like if it was mentioned in hour 58, it's a victory.
The one so it's not quite money, but the one thing I could say is sites keep their finances really close to their chest. And I mean maybe too close to their chest because when you do finally convince those sites to kind of like show you what's going on, it's literally like a festering wound. So if you don't seek for the help, then you'll never know how healthy you can be financially. You're just gonna
Yes.
kind of keep it to yourself.
And sites and employees have a lot in common, right? They're both the little guy
Mhm.
trying to make their way in this industry. And if they can do it properly, they become the bigger guy making their way. Look what Carlos is doing. He doesn't have to do this. He already got a job. But
Mhm.
he's watching this. He's out here actively helping people. I mean, this
Yep.
is what you got to do. Give back when you get there too. Same thing with Velena. Okay.
Mhm.
I empathize with folks from outside of the USA as an immigrant myself, starting from zero. I have had to deal with a handful of challenges. I want to interview you, Velena. Can't believe I never met you till now.
Good interview. Velena is probably one of the best professionals I know in this industry.
I'll connect with her on
So,
LinkedIn. Here's a Carlos is also an IMG.
mhm.
Here's Sharon Ford. I'm seeking a CRA position.
James,
James, there you go. Here's one. So, well, maybe we didn't answer Marion's.
how can you get hired? Just be persistent. I have 3 P's. Follow the 3 P's and it will happen. Patience, positive, persistence. Those 3 P's can get you through. And just stick with those. And you'll find it. You will find it. But that's who Carlos is going to talk to, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So,
look, Columbus. Email
mhm.
Carlos. All right, you're. He probably knows like his employer loves had a great experience with him. So hey, we'll take a
Mhm.
chance on another IMG, or maybe there's another site,
I also
right?
like, so I'm seeing what Carlos said. Carlos kind of told his story on how he succeeded. Valena was saying she was dedicated to helping migrants. And it feels like a lot of these individuals who are dedicated to helping, They want to make it better for the next generation. They want to make other people not have to go through the difficulties they did. And that's very respectable.
Yeah, we need more people like that in our
And hi,
industry.
Germany. We got a Munich, Germany over here.
Ah, it's an evening time. Maybe it's a job recruiter, no?
Mm-hmm.
And there's one more that's interesting, actually. Ah, I see Velena. Okay. Connect. Boom. Let's message. Podcast. Oh, we were not connected, Velena. I just added you to be connected. Um, a small world. Okay. Here's another IMG. All right. Look at this,
Mm-hmm.
guys. It's Monday morning. All right. We didn't even get through the week, and there's more IMGs, like enough for every day of the week so far for this week. Um, I'm an IMG in Canada. I know it takes a lot to get in the industry, but not impossible. I'm grateful for the help along the way. A lot of good people in Canada. Hit me up on
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn. I could connect you to a few networking groups. This one is interesting to me, okay? Can a medical science liaison pivot into clinical trials?
Oh my gosh. So that has so many different things. Most MSLs have to have a PhD, right?
She has an MD.
Yep. Well, even better. So yeah, answer is absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. If you're an MSL, if you can actually sit there and discuss the trials with the investigators or discuss the pharmaceuticals with the physicians, yes. Yes, absolutely you could pivot. It will take some sacrifice, but I think it's going to be a short sacrifice because of your experience.
And you're already 1 foot in research. Like from everything I know about MSLs, they are 1 foot in research and development, 1 foot in sales. So
Yep.
that's like
Oh,
you're already halfway
you're
there.
set. I
Yeah.
mean, imagine recruiting PIs as an ex MSL.
But
Can you
so what
imagine
would
that?
you do if you were her, Dr. Fox? Like trying to pivot? Would you stay with your current organization? Like
So
what would
I
you do? Give her like five things, five practical things.
so if MSLs get paid a lot, frankly. They get a lot of money. It's a BD, it's a sales rep thing. Odds are you got to take a real close look at if you want the money or not, because if you're a researcher, it's gonna take you a long time to get the same money you're getting right now. That's gonna be one thing. Second thing is, if this is something you really want to do, you already have a complete connection of physicians you talk to. So just talk with them, see who wants to be a PI, see who's not competing with another site, whatever it might be. Start a trial, start a site. And
Start a site. Wow.
I mean, yeah, you could start a site as an MSL, especially if you have those connections.
Wow. Fox is going ambitious. I mean, she just wants to pivot. She didn't say all that. Jump in.
If so, here's the thing: if you're an MSL and you want to pivot into clinical trials, odds are you really aren't going to be at the CRC level very long. You're already at that BD development business level. Now, actually, there's another idea. So there are sites that need BD, and you could
Mm.
pivot into being a
Oh.
trial liaison. So that's another thing. Those clinical research liaisons are working not only to get those physicians in, but also to talk with the sponsors to bring them in trials, and then they get the trials to the sites. So there's a really good opportunity with that. If you've ever look up the job description, clinical trial liaison, and see what you like on the job description.
And I looked at your profile, Deepika, and you are at a very small niche company. So, like Velena said, okay, pharma always needs MSLs.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
You
a
could always just
horizontal
go to
move
another one.
first,
Yep.
and then like I as a site owner, I'm actually have a relationship with a few of my MSLs, and for our region, they're always alerting me, hey, you want this new study? It's a year out. Do you want this one? Let's talk about it. Sometimes they give me heads up, like, hey, sponsor thinking about like pulling the plug, like just heads up. There's relationship building. So you might want to go lateral move first and then research, like get more involved in the research, maybe medical monitor, maybe pharmacovigilance.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't brought that up. PV is very important. So there's a lot of opportunities. Here's another one: a medical
Holy
writer in
moly!
data
Look at
management,
that.
biostats, and medical writing CRO. But I'm interested in understanding how sites operate, how they run the trials, because I write often about them. Hmm.
So I will say that about 3 times a week, I get that interview request. I want to understand how sites work more. Can I interview you? And there's a lot of people who are doing that right now.
But is that valuable for me? I hear that and I'm like, because I know it's kind of cool what we do, but you're gonna be underwhelmed. Like
Hmm.
we're just like running around like with
Or
no
you're going to
direction
write the
half
most
the time.
perfect article, and because sites don't have the money, no one's going to want to pay you. So it's, I think, I find that people tend to go more toward the site and the CRO level, or the sponsor and the CRO level.
So here's an obvious pitch, LinkedIn user, right? You need to come. This is why we made SOS,
Hmm.
saveoursites.com, affordable. All right. And maybe you missed the early bird. That was $50. I'm sorry. That train has left the station, but it's $150 now. All right. Saveoursites.com. There's gonna be everyone there is gonna be basically sites or job seekers or tech vendors or sponsors. So there's gonna be plenty of sites. It's made for the sites. Go show up, be there, right? It's only
Hmm.
what, 5 months away?
7, is it?
7?
It's
I
what,
don't know.
February, right?
Yeah,
So I think we just did the math, but we're building the agenda now, and
6 months
odds
away.
are
Six
six
months away.
months. Wow, 6 months, man. So 6 months, we're gonna
Six
be in
months.
Tucson. I bought my airplane ticket, just so you guys know. I got the hotel, airplane, the whole family's coming.
I got the Airbnb
So
too, and
yep.
probably gonna have 2 or 3 staff members come.
Hmm.
Um, but
So we're
yeah,
looking forward
come
to it.
come there, okay. And then Karina says, "I love how people networking for professional on a live podcast. You should see what we're gonna do at SLS, guys. We're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
be like signing like employment agreements there
Hmm. Yep.
live
Speed interviews.
speed interview.
There you
Look,
go.
this is gonna be a magical thing, okay. Here's another IMG. I mean, it's guys, recruiters, you're sleeping, all right? Earl Grey, drink it, James, wake up. Okay, look at this. There's no easy way to get into research. I encourage having the right mindset and increasing skill set. Once in, the possibilities are endless.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes.
Dr.
Yes. Yes.
Gonzalez. I'm echoing. I say the same thing, but it's you look much better than me, and people will probably believe it more. Okay, all right. What else? What else? I'm curious to know how many IMGs have successfully transitioned to medical monitor or
Yep.
MSL role. Many.
Very.
I've interviewed two.
That's a common track, a very common track.
Two are on my podcast YouTube, Kalina. They're there.
Mhm.
Uh, and that's two just on my channel because they reached out. There's like, if there's two, it's an analogy. This is getting spiritual, but as on earth as it is in heaven. Okay. Like,
Mhm.
it's just an example. It crosses vertically, right? It's repeatable. Like if there's two examples in the wild, there are many more out there that have followed that footsteps. I'm getting too deep on a Monday morning.
Need more Earl Grey.
Need
There you
less.
go. Making.
Volunteer to participate in a Clango trial. That's an interesting one. You know what,
There you go.
Belinda? The neurons are firing. So, Dr. Fox, this is actually a very good point. Dr. Fox, we had a study. It was a diabetes study. We had a patient. She screen failed for it, but she was a PhD. So my coordinator was talking to her and said, "Oh, that's really cool. You're a PhD. What do you do?" "Oh, I do psychotherapy, like from Zoom, remotely." So my coordinator told me, and I said, "Wait a minute. Let me go talk to this person." So I went to talk to her. I said, "Hey, we're starting a depression study in a few months. We need a psychometric rater. Are you open to doing that?" She said, "Absolutely."
Hmm.
So now she's a sub investigator
Because she
because
was
she
a screen
participated in
failed
the trial.
patient.
Yeah.
Yep, we did. So we had a trial. It was a trial for dermatology, and we recruited a patient, and this patient had some other health problems. But because of that trial, that we got that patient the health needed, like, and the other problems that they had. This patient was so thankful that research literally saved a life, dedicated to become a coordinator. so that it's a very, very strong pathway if you're going to be if you recruit as a trial participant. A lot of people, they get some of their professional motivations from doing that.
We got so many good comments. My electrician's still not here. Do you want to keep rolling with this momentum,
I mean,
Fox,
if people are still
or do you gotta
watching,
go?
no, I'm good.
People are watching, man. People, they're loving this. Like, um, okay, look, guys. Okay, connect. You guys connect. Okay,
Connect
that's not
them.
what I meant to look. I clicked the wrong one. Look, I already started a site. This is the MD
Hmm.
Medical Science
Our
Liaison. I
MSL
already
friend,
started
yep.
the site. I will look into clinical trial liaison. Look at Deepika. Let me tell you right now. If you started a site, I don't know the details. You were either a PI or a sub I because of your MD. Even I'm a sub I on some study. I have no business being a sub I. But because of that MD, you were probably PI or sub I at your site. Okay. You need to tweak your resume. You need to put investigator on there. You
Hmm.
need to put how many trials, all that stuff. Investigator. In addition to all your other work history, you immediately translate that into a medical monitor role. Immediately. Immediately. The best medical monitors are they're either IMGs, so they've been
Or
former
former site
coordinators and
owners.
CRAs,
Yep.
or former site owner, or former
Yep.
PIs,
Yep.
right? Some of our our MSLs are not MSL, medical monitor for one study. I'm thinking I email him every week. Former PI. So they're like, Pika, you're there. You just need a little bit tweak, just a little bit, and you got a medical monitor role.
Hmm.
All right. Hopefully that's like something you haven't thought of yet. But that's worth the price of admission of this live stream. I am
I
the
the
LinkedIn
LinkedIn
user.
user.
I still
Okay.
don't know who you are. As you can
LinkedIn user
see,
says I am the LinkedIn user.
yeah, me too. I am a LinkedIn user
My
too.
guess is if we go on LinkedIn and look at the feed, we'll see who that is.
Probably. There's like a glitch with this. They know who they are. I have no idea how to do that here in Germany. I'm not German. There are many trials you can volunteer as a participant. I participated on one on UCF, and it was a great experience.
Hmm.
Understanding how sites work would help medical writers write better
Oh my
protocols.
gosh. Yes,
Oh
please.
man, what's her
Yes,
name?
please.
Ooh, I interviewed her twice. Sanguinetti, Christina Sanguinetti from Canada, actually. Started as a CRC, is like a world class medical writer, has her own software company now to help medical writers do their job better. You need to connect with Christina
Hmm.
Sanguinetti. Not later, not maybe it's a good idea. Right now, you need to
Yeah.
stop watching this
Google
and
it
go
or LinkedIn it.
LinkedIn Christina
Yep.
Sanguinetti. If you need an intro, I'm happy to do it. Just leave this live stream and go find her. Right?
Hmm.
Better value for you. Uh, that's it, man. I mean, I guess saveoursites.com. You gotta go, guys. You have
There's
to
a
go.
lot going on.
It's not
I
just for
I will
sites.
say
That's the thing. It's
we
for
had
job
an
seekers
interesting
too.
comment on the Save Our Sites links. Someone saying, "I'm tired of all the negativity. All you guys do is complain. Am I going halfway across the country to hear a bunch of complaining?" So I addressed it on the text and I addressed it here, but that's the whole point, everyone. We are a conference founded out of social media. We're going to be beating the bad stuff like a dead horse on social media so that when you come together, you're gonna be tired of talking about the bad stuff. Let's talk about the solutions. And every innovation is going to start from observations that are negative. It's going to happen. But if you look at the comments, go back 6 months, go back last November to now, those negative memes are already starting to turn more positive. And by the time we get to February, we're going to be looking at solutions, I'm telling you. So
Guys,
do that.
guys, there's something called marketing. When you have zero budget, right? We have zero advertising budget. We don't have six figures to throw at Center Watch or whatever the new thing is to advertise your conference, DIA brochure. We
Yep.
got ourselves the memes. So forget negative or positive or funny. Just memes over index incredibly well on social media. The algorithm basically incentivizes us. This is going to go well. I put plenty of positive things. Plenty. You just not seeing it because that's the way the algorithm is. It's a little bit evil, right? It knows what people
Mhm.
like. People like watching car wrecks, rubbernecking. So what you might be seeing, yes, here's Christina Sanguinetti. We are not a bunch negative Nancy's. What you're seeing is disproportionately reflection of everything we post because the algorithm pushes that. And when I post positive stuff, it doesn't really get out there. Funny indexes too,
Mhm.
but negative. Come on, we all talk. What about your regular conversation you have in life?
Yeah.
It's gonna be
People love
positive,
drama,
funny,
man.
negative.
It's
You're gonna go
drama.
through everything, right?
Look at soap operas, right? People love drama. People are
Yeah. So
entertained with drama. And so I
right.
think the algorithms are attuned to that.
Of course, but we're if people know us well enough, and if you think that's how we are, don't come then. Like,
Yeah,
don't come.
that's fine.
But you're
Not a big
missing out
deal.
because look at all the people here. Like, we're putting people in touch with other people. I'm in Canada. Please may I have Christina correct name. She's a legend. All right. This is who you got to. We're in the middle of like creating this medical writing academy with her, but she's gotten so busy. Like, I don't know where we're at with this.
Mm,
That's coming eventually,
that's a
guys.
tricky one. Yeah,
But it's
become
such a
successful.
good, it's so good. But yeah, it's tricky. And I think, I don't know. She has her own thoughts on AI and its role in this. But the
Hmm.
research is a huge melting pot of like different skill sets and people coming together. So saveoursites.com, we intentionally made it affordable so people come. I'm gonna go to Eventbrite right now and see
Yep. See what the
how many
count is.
people
How
we
many
have.
tickets are sold, Dan? I could
Now
tell
I
you we
gotta log
have,
in.
counting it because they're not all announced. I think we're at nine confirmed sponsors. Nine
Nine?
confirmed sponsors.
I only
Yep.
have like 5 logos on the website.
Yep. They're not quite ready to be released yet. They
Okay,
wanna
I
they
got it.
wanna be secret. Maybe they need another quarter to have a budget or whatever it might be, but sponsors are growing. I
Mm,
I would love to see 20 sponsors on a very first conference. I think that would be we're already a success. I think that we're doing okay, but seeing 20 I think would be good. Getting some of the bigger guys there I think would be good.
so
But
let me.
again, a lot of people are saying, well, it's just a giant therapy session.
No,
You're
it's not.
you're not going to do this, and so
If you guys believe that, then don't come. I mean, that's
yep.
the look. We actually sold a good amount. 247. 247
Wow,
people are coming.
there you go.
All right.
Almost at the
So
250 mark.
saveoursites.com. There's a reason we made this affordable. No other conference is this affordable. None. Not
No,
even 10x. The
and
net. What
guess
is it?
what?
$150. I would even go on a limb and say like the major conferences in our industry that are like site focused,
Hmm.
even 10 times our price, so let's say 1500, you're still not getting in, right? Or are you getting in at that point to something, to a conference?
Uh, no, that's the registration. But keep in mind, this conference is all about the flight and the hotel.
Mm,
4 to 5 grand for a conference. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
there's some mouthwash conferences out there that are 6 grand just to walk in.
Scope. I've been to Scope.
So
Mouthwash. That's one of the ones I actually been to back in the day. Yeah, you're right though. There was no value. I was paid to go there. Myra said, "I love the content you both share. You can't please everyone, so just keep doing what you do." I
thank you,
just sent
Myra.
an
Thank
email
you.
to someone who may want to be a sponsor. Myra,
Thank you
thank
so
you so
much, Myra.
much. Means
And
a
that's
lot to me.
and that's the thing is these sponsorships don't fill private equity pockets. These sponsors are sponsoring the sites, what we're doing, and it's not obviously we're not in it for the money. Otherwise, we'd be charging a lot more money.
Velena says, "Can we get metadata grants manager or grant plan to attend the conference?" Tell them. Okay,
Yes,
are they
there's the
one of the sponsors?
invitation.
Can you say? I don't know.
I cannot
Metadata.
confirm or deny,
Okay.
but it's possible.
I have no idea,
Uh,
but it's
yeah,
possible.
yeah.
That's my answer.
So
Dr. Fox knows everyone like months before they become a sponsor. Okay, so I guess that's it, guys. I gotta actually get to the site.
good. Have fun at the site.
Fox,
SaveOurSites.com.
thank you so much. SaveOurSites.com. Look,
Yep.
guys, I'm telling you, job seeker, site owner, sponsor, a tech vendor, CRO, whatever you are, there's gonna be a good reason for you to be there.
Mhm.
I just refreshed. I'm refreshing the page right now. I'm hoping it's 248. Nope, it's still 247, guys.
That's okay.
Okay,
By the time
but
people watch this, it'll be funny. We'll be, we're gonna get over 250. I think what we can cap out 800, right?
we cap out at 800. Yeah,
Yeah, we get
yeah,
800. I think we'll all be in a really good situation. It'll be a good event, good industry,
yeah. And you know what's gonna
good.
happen when we get to 800? People are gonna say, "Oh, can I buy? I've been meaning to." No,
It's capped.
we have head count, guys. Like this
Hmm.
is like official. We can't just do what we want,
Hmm.
right?
Yep. There are fire limits, right? Fire
Yeah.
drill limits to these buildings. You have to have a capacity, so it'll
All
happen.
right. Thank you guys. Thank you, Dr. Fox. Everybody go connect with him
Yes.
as well. SOS Conference, saveoursites.com. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.